Hey girl, welcome back to the Her Best Self podcast. I've been having some heartfelt conversations with women who are so ready for recovery, who know that they need support, and who are done with the disordered thoughts in their mind. But when it comes to actually investing in themselves, to sign on the dotted line, to commit to the work, they freeze. And it's not because they don't want freedom. It's not because they can't afford it. It's not because they don't believe in recovery. It's because they don't trust themselves to actually do what it takes. They don't trust themselves to follow through or to succeed or to recover. And sis, if this is you, if you've been nodding your head as you listen to this intro, how does she know this? Then this one is a must listen. I need you to understand, lack of trust, it is simply not your fault, and it isn't permanent. We can lack trust in so many things. People, places, ourselves, our bodies. So let's dive into today's episode. Here we go. Hey girl, welcome to the Her Best Self podcast. I'm Lindsay Nickel, former competitive figure skater and perfectionist, turned God-led imperfect boy mom and digital CEO. If you find yourself constantly thinking about food and wondering if you'll wake up one day free from the obsessive thoughts and behaviors controlling your life, then I've created this podcast for you. Because I know exactly what it's like to be a downright hot mess, trapped in a destructive cycle of disordered eating. I finally found freedom, and you can too, girlfriend. So if you're ready to heal your relationship with food and body and break the chains of control and show up in your best health, then grab your favorite Tarjay journal and let's get to it. So you can start living your best life as your best self. Let me guess what's running through your mind when you think about committing to finally getting help from years of struggling. What if I start and then quit like I always do? What if I waste my money? What if I'm not ready? What if I fail again? What if I actually have to gain weight? What if I'm the one person who simply can't recover? What if I disappoint the people I love? And here's the one I hear the most. I've tried treatment, I've tried therapy, I've been in programs. What if this doesn't work either? Friend, I see you, and I need you to know this isn't about your character. This isn't about your willpower. This isn't about you being weak if you've had these thoughts or feelings. This is about what the eating disorder brain has done to your relationship with yourself and what past experiences have done to your hope. I want you to think about it. Maybe you've been in therapy where the therapist was lovely, but you were still left feeling stuck. Or maybe you've been in a treatment program or facility that taught you skills you couldn't maintain in real life once you got back home. Maybe you've even tried recovery approaches that felt like diet culture in disguise, and they simply burned you. Of course you don't trust yourself. You've been let down by systems, by approaches, by people who didn't truly get where you were along the path. And if you're a high performer, you're used to succeeding at everything you put your mind to. So when recovery feels like the one thing that you simply can't figure out, this can shake your entire identity. But what I wanted to talk about today was, what if that problem wasn't you? As I was sitting prepping for today's show, I was thinking about women have lost so much trust within themselves. Trust that they're capable of doing hard things. What if the problem was that you hadn't found the right approach yet? Here's what I need you to understand about working with me or anyone on my team. This isn't therapy. This isn't treatment like you've had before. This isn't even coaching like you probably think of when you think of coaching. This is transformation. If you partner with anyone here at Her Best Self Co., this is a transformation journey. Because I've been where you are and I've sat in your seat. I've felt that exact same fear of, what if I'm not capable of this? What if I can't do this? I've wondered if I was the exception to the rule. And when I work with clients, I'm not coaching you from some textbook. I'm partnering with you from experience. Do you see the difference? It's like, I know what it feels like to not trust myself because I haven't trusted myself in the past. I know what it's like to have tried everything and to still feel like I'm going nowhere. I know what it's like to be high achieving in every other area of my life, but feel like a complete failure when it comes to my disordered brain and moving forward and out of it. And I know how to get my clients to the other side because I have walked the exact same path. So when I work with clients, it's not about me giving you strategies that you've probably already heard of. It's about me holding hope for you when you can't hold it for yourself. It's about me seeing your strength when all you see on the daily is your struggle. It's about me trusting you to recover until you can trust yourself. I often say to my clients, take my permission if you won't grant it for yourself. Because self-trust, it isn't about never failing. Self-trust isn't about being perfect. Self-trust isn't about guaranteeing any kind of outcome. It's about showing up for yourself even when it's hard and even when it's imperfect and even when you can't see the ending or the forest through the trees. And here's what I've learned from working with so many women since the origination of my business and the show. The women who recover aren't the ones who don't stumble. They're the ones who keep going, who keep showing up, or what I like to say, the ones that keep putting in the reps. They're the ones who I hear on calls say, I might not trust myself right now, but I trust myself enough to try. I think I can do that. I think I can try. You know what builds self-trust? Keeping small promises to yourself. Not these big dramatic promises, not, I'm going to face my extreme fear food tomorrow challenges, but small daily promises. But here's the key. Doing this alone is extremely difficult because if you've ever broken promises to yourself in the past, you have a broken betrayal of self-trust. That is so real. So in the work that I do with women, I help you identify the promises that actually matter, the ones that are going to move the needle, the ones that build trust without creating overwhelm. And what that does is it allows self-trust to build over time. Because when you keep one promise at a time, you will continue to upgrade your life. You will continue to believe in your truth. You will continue to build on those promises. But let's go deeper because I think there's something underneath this fear of not trusting yourself to recover. I remember it for myself. Maybe you're afraid of failing again, but you're also in that exact same place as you're afraid of failing, afraid of succeeding. As much as you hate that voice inside of your head calling all of the shots, as much as you hate how much it has stolen from you, let's be real. It's been your identity. It's been your coping mechanism. It's been your source of control. It's been your way to feel special or disciplined or together or superior. It's been your excuse for not fully living. And if you recover, if you actually do, you have to face this simple question. Who am I without this? Oh my gosh, I remember and I get it and it's terrifying. I've been there. But sis, can I tell you what I know? Who you are without the eating disorder running your day and every single meal and every single thought is who you were always meant to be. That disorder didn't create the best parts of you. It actually buried them deep within. And that woman that you're afraid that you can't trust, the one that you're so concerned about not following through, the one that breaks promises in the past, she's not really you. She's the you that's been hijacked, manipulated, and controlled by an illness. The real you, she's trustworthy. She is capable. She is ready. And I can see her even when you can't. That's the power of true transformation. That's the power of navigating this journey with somebody who's been there. You know what I've noticed about high-performing women? You're used to being able to figure everything out. You've succeeded in areas like your career and life. You've built the relationships, your network. You've achieved the goals. You've got the checklist. You've made things happen through willpower and grit and determination. But when it comes to an eating disorder, they don't respond to the same strategies that may have gotten you success in your life in any other category. In fact, the very strategies that perfectionism, control, pushing through, never giving up are exactly what are keeping you here. And maybe for the first time in your life, you're faced with something that requires a completely different approach. At least that was the case for me. something that required surrender instead of control, trust instead of certainty, and support instead of independence. That's not a character flaw. That's not just let's get this together and make these promises that I'm going to keep to myself this time once and for all. This is what recovery requires. It's exactly why partnering with someone is powerful. I understand the mindset. I lived in that mindset, and I know how to help you direct all of that drive and that determination toward actual healing instead of more control. And here's something extremely important. There is no such thing as failing at recovery, only learning. Every therapy session that felt super unsuccessful for me, or I would leave and go, why am I even bothering coming here? I learned what approach wasn't working for me. Every treatment program that maybe you've been in where you feel so stuck, sis, you were just gathering information about what you actually may need. So I want you to think about this from a perspective of every time you may start and stop, every time you may have hope and inspiration to get yourself to a place where you reach out for support or you actually want to do something about this, you're building your recovery resume. Okay? You have not been failing. You've been preparing. We have to really redirect and shift into this moment. You've been preparing for the approach that actually fits, for the support that actually works. And all of those experiences, they aren't setbacks. I try to think of moments in my recovery where I got support that didn't work for me, or I was in a group where I wasn't seeing progress, or I was doing a couple of these things with a dietitian, but something wasn't just jiving the way that I thought it was going to. All of those things in my process of recovering were stepping stones that led me exactly to where I needed to be. And where you need to be is ready for a different kind of partnership. One that meets you exactly where you are and helps you build trust in yourself again. So how do you build that trust when maybe you don't have any? How do you trust yourself to do something that maybe you haven't ever successfully done before? Well, here's my little secret. Of course, God is always my secret. And I won't say he's my secret because I openly share about my faith on the show here. But whether you believe in God or the universe or whatever it is for you, I want you to know that when you put trust always in yourself, you are going to set yourself up for a disaster. Here's the other thing though. You don't have to trust yourself to recover. You just have to trust yourself to start. And then with God's grace and partnership from people along the way, you build trust together. So when I work with a client, I help start with some micro commitments, okay? So maybe that is, I trust myself to eat breakfast tomorrow for you, or I trust myself to be honest this week when we're not having our session, or in between our next session. I trust myself to reach out when I'm struggling instead of hiding. And when we can do that and we can acknowledge those kept promises or those aspirations and goals, like I said I'm going to eat breakfast and I did. I said I was going to be honest about my struggles and I was. I said I was going to reach out for help and I am. Those are stepping stones of trustworthiness. But here's the thing. I'm helping you identify. I'm helping you build trust. Self-trust is a practice. It is not a prerequisite though. And when you work with somebody who has been there and has done that and who understands what it feels like with the crazy like good wolf and bad wolf in your mind constantly, that person, whether that's me or somebody else, can help get you where you need to be until you feel like you are ready and you've arrived. Sis, I've worked with so many women who started out working together saying, I just don't trust myself to do this. And you know what I learned? The women who think they can't do it are often the ones who surprise themselves. It's crazy. And I started dissecting this and going, I wonder why that's the case. And here's what I've come to conclude. I think it's because they're humble. They're honest about their struggles. They're willing to admit that they might need some different level of approach or that it's going to require it being hard. And they show up anyways, even when they're not trusting. See, courage isn't trusting yourself to succeed. Courage is showing up even when you don't. Faith is believing in what you cannot see. Do you hear me? And so here's what happens. Trust builds. as you keep those small promises, those reps continue to compound. Not because you don't stumble, not because you're failing, but you learn that you're more capable than you believed you were. You learned that you're more trustworthy than that voice inside of your head ever told you. But you learn that in partnership. So let me ask you this. What sounds riskier to you? Trusting yourself to try recovery with someone who's been there and has helped you and can guide you through it, or letting the disorder continue to steal your time, your energy, and your life? I want you to bet on yourself, sis. I want you to bet on yourself because the eating disorder has never kept its promises. It hasn't. It has promised you control and it has given you chaos. It has promised you perfection and it has given you a life of obsession. It has promised you happiness and most likely it's stolen your joy. You've been trusting the wrong voice for simply way too long. But I know the right voice. I have worked with women who have found their voice. I know the voice of recovery. And I know that if you hear your own deep down best self come out in you, you are no longer going to put up with the lies of what the eating disorder has said to you. So here's what I want you to consider. What if you don't need to trust yourself to recover? What if you can build on that trust? What if you don't have to start there? What if you just need to trust yourself enough to find someone who can hold the hope when you can't? What if the woman who can recover has been inside of you just waiting for the right time, waiting for the right guide, the right approach? Friend, recovery requires a perfect willingness to try and then decide. And if you've listened this far to today's show and you're still here with me, you have that willingness. So the question isn't, can I trust myself to get through this and recover and lean in and do what needs to be done? The question is, am I willing to trust myself enough to get help that I need so that I can have the tools that are going to point me in the right direction? If you're tired of trying to figure this out, if you're ready for somebody who might actually understand where you are along the way, I want you to head to herbestself.co and fill out a client application, because here is my promise to you, friend. I will trust you to recover until you can trust for yourself. I'll hold that belief for you until you can hold it for you. I'll see your strength when you can only see what you're struggling with, and I'll partner with you in a way that creates that transformation, not just another attempt. I've seen too many women discover their own strength, discover their own resilience and their own trustworthiness to believe that you're any different. You are trustworthy. You are capable. You are there, even if you don't feel like it yet. My favorite word. Actually, especially if you don't feel like it yet. I want you to trust yourself enough this week to try something new. That's all this requires. Just trust yourself enough to begin, to lean in. I believe in you. And I'm here when you're ready to believe in you too. I want you to keep forging forward, friend, and share with us in our private Facebook community, herbestselfsociety.com, what you are going to be doing to build on those small promises, to continue to put in the reps, to build trust with yourself. This is an internal struggle, but I want to get you from being inspired to going into action. I want you to trust yourself again. I want to help you build upon that trust. I hope today's episode has shed some light on the concepts of self-trust and why the eating disorder sometimes can try to take that away from you because you feel like you just can't move forward when you're stuck in it. Here is the fact. Right now, it's not that you don't trust yourself. It's that you've been believing the lie that you're not capable. But that's just a lie. Just like you're going to blow up and the whole world is going to hate you, just like that skinny is in, all of those things are lies. I hope today from this episode, you take away something that you can do with your own self, your own body, that can build that trust into your heart. Maybe you just need to give yourself a hug, a pep talk, whatever that may be for you right now, but I want you to pat yourself on the back for listening to today's episode. You should be so proud that you are educating yourself, that you are coming here, that you are listening to the show, and that you are wanting to learn even more about what's going on inside of you, plus ways that you can help recover through it. Friend, I so adore you. I so believe in you, and I can't wait for you to start trusting in the person that you're becoming, because she's there underneath all of it. I'll talk to you real soon. Bye for now. Oh, friend, thank you so much for letting me share what was on my heart today. My hope for this podcast is to help more women find freedom from food and body. If this has empowered or blessed you, let me know. I'd be honored for your rating and review of my show, and I'd love to connect with you in my private Facebook community. You really can move from perfection to purpose. Let's break the chains together. I'll help navigate the way. Until next time, bye for now, girl.